Hello everybody and welcome to a special Hnefatafl game where I am in the presence of one of the developers, Kenny. It is brilliant for him to be here today. You know what guys, I very rarely get to play people behind the game and it is a fantastic opportunity to get beat down so badly that I'll have an objective to get to in the end. So do you want to say a few words, Kenny?
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here. I thought it would be fun to try to play a few games with the community, and our Richard here, he's been playing the game and posting some videos on YouTube. So I want to pop on by and uh, and just play a few games, and maybe we can talk a little bit about the game and like the story of it while we're playing, and the game development process is in early access. So there are many things that we can talk about while playing the game as well. Yeah, so I just thought it would be a fun content thing for everybody to do.
That is fantastic. I've got one thing to admit. The way I found about this game, like originally before the digital game, was I found the game, the physical board game, at a car boot sale. If you know what one that is, Kenny.
It sounds like something in a garage or something.
Yeah, like you go to a place where people sell like second-hand stuff, and I found it was called a Viking board game, and I was so excited when I found it, and it was Hnefatafl, and I was like, "What is this?" And I bought it, and I got it out on the set, and saw the board, saw the setup, and the rules, and I was hooked. And when I saw your game, and I was like, "Really? Is that it online? I can't find any decent version." And once I found this
Yeah,
version, I was like, "Oh dear, I'm going to be playing this for a very long time."
that's good to hear. Yeah, so that's why we actually created the game because we didn't find a variant of Nefertafl on Steam. There does exist some other digital variants of the game, for example, on the Android platform for mobiles. But yeah, it wasn't on Steam, and it was a surprise to us. So that's why we just jumped on it and want to make it.
Oh, definitely. There's definitely that opening for a very well built game with the graphics that are on. Which I'll click start the game now, so people who have probably seen it before but will also see it again. You know, one thing that struck me when I first loaded the game was the nice board, and I think
Yeah.
on the first video I made, I only had one criticism with one thing. Do you know when you take a piece? You know, when you take an enemy piece, you need to edit some sort of dying action. Rob, I think there's like a poop or some sort of audio file. You need to have some sort of like dying person when you take a piece.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a sound effect in there right now when you take a piece, but it's kind of like a slashing kind of sound effect.
All right, so Kenny is playing the attacker. I am the defender, so I'm gonna have to pull out my A game, but I've probably brought my B game.
Well, we'll see. You might be surprised. I'm not like a very good Hnefatafl player. I'm a decent one, but I need to play more games myself.
It's different. I find the computer is very competent, and it always when I'm playing online games, sometimes the AI isn't very good, and I've got to say the AI gave me a run for my money a few times. Like I said, guys, this is early access, so of course there is always room for improvement with some bug testing and stuff. But I had to literally block the computer playing half the board, and it took me about 50 minutes, which was very entertaining. All right, I'm gonna go on my first move. I've got a strategy here, I think. All right. He says he's got a strategy. Nerves will get the better of him very soon. Okay, let's have a look. You see, I like this because it's different to chess. I mean, it's very simple rules, but the rules are so simple that they're mind blowing in my opinion. As you got straight, you got unlimited move access where you can move, and it's just trying to plan not to get blocked. You see, like I've made a horrible mistake there.
Oops, daisy.
I need to stop talking.
Punished.
I need to stop talking, guys. All right, let's get back on this. This might be a quick game, actually. Okay, let me just. Okay, let's get back to it. So when did Hnefatafl start? Historically in the world, when did it start to come through? Is it like it is a very Nordic game, isn't it? Icelandic, Norwegian game, isn't it?
Yes, so it has definitely has historical roots. What we say is that uh, the game has assumed origins to the Viking era. The reason why we say that is because we haven't found the actual rule set that the Vikings used, but we know that they played board games. Because we have found boards in Viking graves all over the place. So the Hnefatafl that we play today is a recreated game in modern days, based on what we think the actual game was.
That's so interesting. That is, I find it absolutely fascinating that we could be playing something that's been played for hundreds of years and thousands of years. I think it's just absolutely mind blowing. All right,
Yeah.
let's. You see, it's different when you're playing a human player. I'm sat here playing very well against the computer player. But once you throw down a human mind into the fray, it's a completely different kettle of fish there.
Yeah. But that's the fun part of the game, right? Like the AI, it plays based on the rules that we kind of create, right? But humans, they make mistakes, and they might have, like a weird strategy to do that you can still win. Uh, and a lot of the fun in this game is also about making the mistakes and trying to correct them.
Oh, definitely, definitely. The computer is punishing though. I've made some mistakes with the computer player, but I found with the AI, with most AIs, let me just recorrect that, that if you give the computer player too many options, he makes a mistake himself, and that's the way I find to beat the computer player.
Yeah. And our mission as when we create the AI, oh my, woo,
Oh,
what a move.
I don't know why I did that. You see, I'm getting bamboozled through conversation, guys. But you know what?
Sorry about that, Richard, but I had to.
Never mind. We just take that on the chin, guys. I'm just letting him win here, you see, guys. So
Great content on YouTube, right?
You see,
giving the dev a chance.
You see, the special thing here, I can move a piece in between his two pieces here, and he's not the aggressor, my piece isn't taken, so it blocks him up a little bit there. Will he take the bait? Will my conversation distract him from the game?
Might be, actually. But the move that you did there is one that many new players don't really catch that you can do. But it's often quite a powerful move, actually, to move in between two pieces like that. Since it's still a safe move, right?
It is safe. Well, I hope it's a safe move. from the last few minutes of gameplay, it's not been a safe move.
Didn't take the bait.
Okay. You see, when I go silent, you can tell I'm concentrating. All right, does King come out to play or not? He's sitting on his throne there, quite happy. You see, what I've as well when you're watching TV and you're watching these historical programs, I've actually seen them play this game, like on some Viking players, like Last Kingdom, and it was actually on the Last Kingdom I saw King Alfred actually play this game against his daughter on a board, which was quite interesting. I'll have to find that clip somewhere.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that like the global TV show Vikings TV series. The game that they play when they kind of discuss strategy in in TV series is this game. I find that pretty cool.
Oh, I was about to make a really rookie mistake there.
Well. So, how do you feel about your position in the
It,
game so
it
far?
it's really bad. I'm struggling here. You see, I find when you play the computer player, you're trained against the computer player, so you adjust yourself to the computer, and then now you're playing human player. It just throws, different tactics, people being bold, being cautious into the wind.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I'm still really struggling. I don't see this going down well.
Well, I have to say though that I won a game against a human player with only my king left as the defenders. So there is possibility in this game, especially when we were talking about mistakes. You can always make mistakes. So you can actually go quite far in this game as the defenders with just the king.
You can. I've seen the king do some amazing things. Especially, he can move over the throne piece in the centre, which does help him. But if you are trapped next to the throne and somebody gets sandwiches next to it, you're off.
Mhm.
All right. There's not enough time for me to figure this out. Okay, let's. We've got to go bold, or we've got to go home.
Sounds interesting.
But I'm already home, so it doesn't count. All right, let's. No, I think we're going to go. Do you know why there is 24? Is it 24 attacking pieces, and is it 12? Is it 12 or 14 defending pieces? Is there some historic point for that, or is that just the rule set it is set at?
Oh yeah, yeah. So there are variations of the Hnefatafl game, right? So since I said we haven't found the rules that the Vikings never wrote down their rules. So what we found in the Viking graves were different sized boards. So I found like a 9 tile board, and you found like an 11 tile board. So they used games for different sizes.
It's
Uh,
travel. It's travel. These Vikings travel, so it must be slip into their knapsack before they go off raiding. That's what it must be. Putting
yeah.
11 side 11 in your bag, and you're going to put an axe in your bag. I think. Okay. Ooh. Oh, you got the good tactic. It's just slowly closing that noose around me.
Yeah, you can feel a bit pressured, right?
Yeah, we're down. We're nearly out, but we're going to try. We're not giving up just yet.
But yeah, so the different sizes of the boards tells you how many pieces there are on the board. So there are variations of this. So for example, a 9 by 9 called tabloot is fewer pieces. But we have strictly gone for the Copenhagen rule set in this version of the game. That is with intention, because that is one that people play in these tournaments. And we find that this variation of Hnefatafl is a very good, interesting game to play. So that is why.
That's interesting. That's definitely. I've learned something today. So when I'm having Hnefatafl, information dumps with my friend, and they're saying, "Oh, Richard, tell me about this," and I can just drop all this information. Oh, I'm a little bit trapped at the moment, but I know you can't. I've had one game on the physical board game where my friends nearly captured like an entire 4 pieces against the side of the board in some sort of shield wall attack.
Hmm.
Oh, let's do a Leroy Jenkins moment.
Well,
You see, I find when you get trapped in, you have to try and force your way out, because otherwise you just slowly creep closer to being taken. And I find if you can get 1 or 2 bits out on the other side of the board, and you can take from that side, you might get a clear victory here.
yeah. It's always nice for the defenders to try to get outside his ring, right? It
Oh,
makes it a little bit more difficult for me, and it certainly is a strategy. It can work. One defender on the outside of the ring might break the entire game loose, you know?
it's options. Like I said with the AI, you give somebody too many options, they're going to make probably not the best option you give them, which is what you want to play to your advantage.
That's right.
Oh, that was such a good move. uh,
One thing I found really interesting with this game is how you move all the pieces. Like everything moves like rooks and chefs. So it's I find it very interesting to just see those horizontal and vertical lines all the time, and the positional advantage is so important in this game.
oh, definitely. I like the blue when you can see where you can go on. It makes it so much easier for your eyesight. I mean, I find sometimes for me, I mean, this is my personal preference, I find it hard to picture something because it's on the screen. You know, something physically in front of you is a lot different, and you can see and get really gritty with it. And I find that sometimes hard for my comparison. Oh, this is a tricky move. I have to move that piece. I just don't know where. oh,
The position in the game where you kind of have to, yeah.
yeah, I've got to threaten your side, and you can counter or not. I've got another move that I might do. I think you have to counter that piece, but I've got another piece that I think I might move if I have to. Oh, that was brilliant.
It started to turn out painful for you, man.
Yeah, it is. But you take the good rolls, you take the bad rolls, just as they come.
Well, we're almost there, I guess. Oops. Ah, that was actually a misclick.
you see, guys, you've seen it here.
Well,
this is it. Just you see, I've got two decisions here, but I don't know which is the best decision. I think I'm just going to have to take. You see that little squitch noise? You need like a Viking war cry when a piece dies.
yeah.
That's what you need. You see, this is the best thing about playing a human player. I love playing the computer player, and I really enjoy the replayability. But playing a computer player is completely different. I mean, sorry, playing a human player is completely different because you got your whole thought press, your thought process, and also misclicks. I know it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Come on, Kingy, get out of town. Yeah. I take.
Oh,
I take.
we're going on a little rampage here, I think.
I take the little bit of pride back for actually taking some of your pieces because I thought for a second in this game you were just going to take all of my pieces without me even winning or taking any of it. You see, King's in a really bad position here. You see, that throne is an issue here. I'm hoping that I can't move over it because it's showing the blue thing. I don't think I can.
You can move over it.
But it's not land on it with the pieces.
That's correct. Only a king may land on the center tile, the throne. Yes.
I'm in trouble. I've got no doubt about that here. I am in a lot of trouble.
Well, you can, like I told you, the defenders, in one regard, only have to win in one of those four quadrants. I call them quadrants, like the four quarters of the board, right? So if you really manage to break loose in that northeastern quadrant, you might have a chance.
I think so. I've got to see how it plays. I've just got you wait till you misclick again to give me a slight
Yeah,
advantage.
but one misclick is a huge thing. It opens up the game much more for you, right?
Oh yes, it does. Yeah, I've done it before with the computer player, but the computer player is less forgiving because they just reap you when you make a mistake. So I did it once, I misclicked, and the computer player went, "Ha ha ha! I'm going to now destroy you."
Right, so we'll see what you do here.
Hmm. Not very much, it seems.
So that was an interesting move by you.
I think a lot of my pieces are covered. Wherever I move, there's like maybe one piece I could have moved, which was kind of safe. Actually, no, it wasn't safe. I think everybody else is in trouble on the trouble scale. I'm quite high on the trouble scale at the moment, but that would have been even.
It's a kind of interesting move that you did there. I have to respond in some way, right? Because you're actually setting yourself up for some sort of victory.
Maybe
Even though,
I've got to say I play with strategy, but I play with I may be really bad. I play with instinct a lot of the time, and if I can feel that it's going the way I want it, then I'll keep pushing that. But sometimes that could be the wrong tactic to do. I mean, very much I'm feeling the force, I could say.
Well, I think I have a response to whatever you can do here. So we'll see.
Yeah. Let's just do that. I see what you did to that. Though I can hear the cogs in my mind going around right now. Yeah, yeah you could. That was good. Yeah, that was what I expected. It was either going to come from the top of the board or the bottom of the board,
Yeah.
and it just gives you a really good way to counter.
But I am now in a position where I have to chase the king, which is quite annoying. Because I have to, or else.
I've got an idea what I want to do now. I just need to see what you do in retaliation to that. The king's such a dangerous piece. Is in some aspects weak, but in most of the aspects, yeah, that was. You can't let me get on that side of the board.
Yeah. But you did manage to break free of my noose, though, and now I have to start running after you. So I would call it a quite successful defender game here and a little bit failed attacker game here. Even though I might win, and you might win too, actually. We'll see.
Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. I've got to start throwing my soldiers into the battle. Sacrifice.
Right. Let's close this off, shall we? You're trying to be very slippery, at least.
I have to be. I've got to try it. It's extremely difficult. But like I said, that's the gem of playing a human player. You know, they're using their gut and their strategies to try and block you in as best as they can, and I'm trying to slip her out. I'm just the king's good. Oh, he's good. But I am trying to use my other pieces as annoyance as well to either push you to make a bad move or me to make a bad move. One of the two.
Yeah.
I just have the Queen song in my head at the moment. I want to break free. That's all.
Rightio. You're trying to do something sneaky here, aren't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just playing nice.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. I was a little bit blind in the moment. You actually have a chess mate there, my friend.
I hope we do. That
Congratulations.
was lucky. Kenny, that was just a little bit of luck and
Uh,
a bit of a smoke loose.
yeah, but that's one of the things I really like about this game because the mistakes sometimes are so punishing. Uh, and like that one little misclick that I did sent repercussions down the entire line, especially as the attackers, because it's so vital to every move that you make is tying the noose. So I think there was a good example of a game, and also a good example of how you can slip up. Because now I was too focused on you trying to. It looked like to me like you were trying to set up a little ambush, and I didn't see that your king could escape in a uncapturable winning position. So good job. But I found a game fun to play.
The,
Congratulations.
the main thing, Kenny, is that you have fun. That's
Yeah,
the way I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
That's the way I see it. Any game you play, win or lose, is just you have fun. That's the main thing, and that's what I'm adamant of in any games I play.
Good job.
Let's not misclick here because that would be very bad.
Oh, there you go, man. Congratulations, huh?
GG. I'm not. Kenny. That was not easy. That was not
Yeah.
easy. But I've got to say that was fantastic. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this, please see the link below to the Steam store. If you're a Hnefatafl fan or even a board game chess fan, this is one of them games that you need to check out because this half an hour of been playing. It's absolutely been amazing. It's been nice to play a human player, and I will post a link to the Discord in the comments below. Description below as well, because if you are looking for a opponent, there is more opponents out there who want to play this game. Are we gonna do round two?
We're going to do round two, and now I'm the defender, right? So
Yep.
you're going to host the game, and then you're going to say invader's choice.
Yep.
So, or a host choice,
Yep.
whatever you want. But just as long as you don't do Odin,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then it's random, right?
I'll just put 0 there. You can get your revenge. That was lucky. That was really lucky. I think just like I said, if you fought slip in your mind, so invader's choice. There we go. I think it's up. Same password as before.
Cool. So yes, we're gonna start a Discord. So Viking Chess Hnefatafl, it has a Discord. You find a link in the Steam forums. You can probably post a link to it as well if you like, Richard, in your video description, because that's where we want the community to hang out. So if you want to play Hnefatafl and as the game evolves over time, I hope to create a little community where people can organize the private games and have discussions about strategies and all that sort of stuff. And you can talk to me, the developer over there, and yeah, start a community.
All right, and the attacker. The pressure's on. The pressure's not on me anymore. I've won a game. It's Kenny's pressure to beat me back.
Yeah.
I get too distracted. I've got to say, when I play board games, I'm just too distracted. I get distracted by pretty pictures. Oh, Kingy can't be breaking free already.
This is one of those interesting situations to try to create early sometimes.
Oh,
Just like what happens when you just start moving the king very early? Because human players have to react, right? And maybe, like you say, you just played against a computer and the computer doesn't do that. Um, it can be interesting to see.
1-2 moves, like we saw in my game against you just before. 1-2 moves, the king could be in that corner quadrant just like that. That's the one thing you got to worry about, and that's what I do worry about. But I think at the same time, you can get distracted by the computer, distracted by the king, because I don't think sometimes it's wholly what the king is doing. It's what your other pieces are doing on the board that could surprise you to make a point for the king to escape. Like here, I don't know what you're doing. It's starting to worry me a little bit. You see, I can see like really good openings for the king just to be running out here.
It's scary, isn't it?
It is. I've got to shoot you down here somehow. But I think sometimes the pressure is on the defender because the defender has a lot less pieces. So when you think about it, I've got, you know what? I'm messing up now. I've got more pieces to lose. I've got more people. I've got more of a chance just in case things do kill, but not like that.
Yeah, it's always dangerous to have defenders outside of the on the flanks. So it makes it easier for me to attack you, right?
Oh yeah, because it's a game of attack and defense for the attacker or the defender. At points of the game, you're going to be on the more defensive position, of course, positioning.
So, just a little anecdote. I found it very interesting as a part of history for this game. Apparently, scholars believe that they used this game as tactical training for actually young children during the Viking era. I found that quite interesting.
That is amazing. That is something to. I can see the point to it. I can definitely see the point to it. Just like chess, if you're trying to think ahead, you're trying to block and all other tactics involved. You see, I want to take your piece now, but I don't believe that piece there is sincere. I think there's some prior motive for me to take that piece.
It is quite sad, isn't it? The king just sends his soldiers as bait.
I don't want to take that bait, unfortunately. Oh, I can see what you're doing now, and it's going to upset me. You see, this is annoying as well because the king can block people in and take them on the other side. So if I were to put a piece to the right of that king, you would just swing across and take it. But at the same time,
now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that in this variant of Hnefatafl, we have a so-called armored king, right? So he can only be captured by having pieces on four sides of him. Which makes the king so powerful in that move because he is uncapturable, but he puts himself in a lot of not really risk, but like it's a very offensive move, right?
Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble here. Well, we've got plenty of soldiers to chuck into the fray. We are absolutely fine. Let's not start panicking yet. It's just the king can get to that corner so quickly, and that's the scary thing about it. He can just, literally, like I said, one foul move, and it can be... You've lost the game.
Yeah, but there was evidence of that in our prior game there.
Oh yeah, no, completely.
Quite interesting. So, let's see here.
I'm just waiting for you to make a mistake. That's literally all I'm doing. It's waiting to make a mistake that I can monopolise on that. Because you're in a very strong position. A very strong position right now.
Yeah. But still, I have to kind of see it, right? And that's the joy of playing with the human players. like I told you, I really enjoy this game because of all the mistakes you can do. If everybody just plays a perfect game, it loses a little bit of that magic touch for me. I think that's what makes these kinds of games good.
And like the main thing of like every game I play, guys, it's just to have fun. You have to enjoy games. You take the win, take the loss. As long as you guys enjoy it, that's the main thing in my book.
Yeah. Right. So let's try to do a little bit of shenanigans here. See how you react to this.
I'd say poorly more than like.
All right.
Just. I see things now when I make my move. I see the move that I should have took.
Well,
Let's see, do I do that? Oh, it's risky. But you know what? I live on the edge.
that's good.
But I've got to say, there's a lot of these. I've left. You could win very easily right now.
Yeah, well, maybe not easily, but it is certainly possible.
I saw. He's out. Oh,
Yeah, this is an interesting one because you mispositioned your guy there. So this is a little bit of perpetual repetition, maybe. But hey, there you go.
yeah. That's yeah. And well, I can move to block.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I keep
And
forgetting about that. Keep forgetting about you can sandwich them against the corners.
yes. So in order to create a fully blocked exit, right?
Yeah.
You need to put them in like three diagonal.
Yeah. That's the white pieces there, where the king is to the bottom of the board. Oh, that's a dangerous move. I've been punished for that. I'm glad you did punish for that because I'll never do that again. Oh. Oh, that's a tricksy move. That's.
Yeah, it's. I think you're in a vulnerable position, Richard. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. The die's been cast. We've done it. Yeah, I think.
That one is a little bit difficult to respond to, I think.
See, what if I just don't respond to it? That makes sense. Oh. You see, the king's got a wide open space with nobody attacking him, and it's just a free for all. It's just that one move, and that's it. Yeah, I'm glad you're punishing me for that because I wouldn't let me off there. Yeah, I'm. I think it's over. There's not very much I can do apart from throwing pieces at you there, and I think you've won this now with that move. Yeah. I think you've won that.
It's one of those little bit back and forth kind of, but some of these games are slowly won often. Like you have to go a little bit back and forth, and as it's the nature of the game. So, let's see here.
Yeah. I'm not moving into that corner again. I promise. Because I've done it about 4 or 5 times now. Oh, that's such a good move that was. That was a really good move. I'm going to have to use that now on other people. Just say, there you go.
So that is like one of the safest moves that you can do in order to protect your guy from being captured while also threatening another guy with capture. It's in general a pretty good move to do. Let's see if we can't score this victory now.
I think it is with that move now. I'm just going to move there to be taken. That's all. I'll just give myself a little bit of a kill before you win the game.
Right. So
you see, I could just and then
And there we go, I would say. Finally. Took a little while, but I guess that's a chess mate.
Yeah, it was a really good move. I really enjoyed that move.
That was a fun game as well. So how do you feel about playing as the defenders or the attacker? What is your take on these two factions?
I like the defender because you're weak, but you've got you've got an objective, more of an objective. Your king is that vital piece, and for me that gives me more to concentrate on, because I think the attacker is the harder opponent. To play the attacker, it's harder because you've got a lot to deal with. Them 4 corners, you're defending all 4 corners at once. So yeah, I think defender. I think I enjoy the defender a little bit more because you got that kind of interesting piece with the king that you can just literally, just in our first game, that if the attacker makes one wrong move, you can just chuck him in the corner, and it's sweet home. But you know what, Kenny, that was absolutely enjoyable, them 2 games. You know what, guys, like I said before in the midst of the video, please check the links below, and even just go onto Steam and Google Hnefatafl. I'm going to pronounce it wrong all the time. Are there any final words from you, Kenny, today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for playing this game with me, and I hope to see more players joining the early access at Steam for this game now. It is available. You can play it right now. And like I said, it's in early access, but we're working on the game and improving bits and pieces here and there. And soon we will have a little bit more interesting progression mechanics in the game. So once you play the game over time, you can unlock new prefix titles. These are titles that you can put in front of your name to kind of embellish your skill in the game, that you unlock by doing certain actions in the game and winning certain amount of games and stuff like that. So the game will evolve over time, and I hope to see more players enjoying this game.
I think I'm a Huskel now. I think I've I've got to win. I've got to win 5 games first. I'm not right there just yet.
It is a little bit of a bait right now because it is not implemented yet, but that update is coming probably. I'm going to push it next week, I think. So something to look forward to for all players playing so far in early access.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much, guys. If you've watched it this far, I've been Richard York. Kenny has been fantastic. It has been enjoyable. I hope to catch you on another game of Hnefatafl. And I shall I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to butcher it each time. Thank you, guys. And I shall see everybody on the next video.